Hi YouTube, on today's episode we are going to look at communications, and I've done a few videos on this before. This is going to be a pretty wide spanning topic on today's video. I'm going to talk about MERS radios, CB radios or citizen band, GMRS, General Mobile Radio Service, FRS, Family Radio Service, and mesh networks. And it's going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I've been trying to find a way to get out the information that I feel like is important to me. And I spent a lot of time researching, and I could never find a video that contained all this information in one sitting, which is what I was looking for several times. I've got some notes, so a few times I'm going to look at my iPad just to reference what I'm discussing. On the table, I have some of the radios and devices I'm talking about. So we've got some bubble pack stuff here, super cheap, discontinued, but I still think one of the best radios that was on the market. Go Tenna option, mobile GMRS, listening to ham stuff unless you have your ham license, then talking on ham, CB, mobile and handheld, and then a scanner. So to start with, we all know the convenience of picking up our phone and sending a text message or making a phone call to anywhere on the planet. Right now I can sit here in Dallas, Texas and text or call someone in Beijing nearly instantaneously. I can send an email, I can do all kinds of stuff around the world right now. And there are lots of videos about communications during disasters, communications in general, ham radio stuff, all kinds of things. So what I would like to talk about is not ham radio or amateur radio. There are plenty of videos on that. Comms Prepper is a great resource. I'm not going to talk about satellite phones, really that in depth, or satellite two-way radios. I will cover Iridium just a little bit, but I'd like to go over the big differences in these radios from the perspective. This video is for someone that they want to have a way to talk to their family in an emergency. They are not in a situation where everyone in your family can get a ham radio license, or someone doesn't want to get a ham radio license. And you want a way to be able to talk hurricanes or cyber attack, cell phone towers go down, and you want to be able to communicate short distance and medium distance, that kind of thing, and a little kind of long range, depending on atmospherics and that kind of stuff. So to start, I'm going to go over some basics. Like I said, GMRS, FRS, CB, and MERS. Then also mesh networking. I'll go over that also. And the scale I'm going to go is going to go least complex to most complex. And that also means the least chance of failure, low complexity, to a high chance of failure, very complex. Like an Iridium network is very complex, it's very reliable, but it has a lot of moving parts. So to start, we're going to start with FRS. So FRS, which is what these two are, and these are, these specific ones are non-rechargeable, just cheap bubble pack radios. I think we got a pair of these for 20 bucks. Very, very cheap, but they work well if that's what you're wanting. Same thing, Motorola version. This one has a vibrate alert. Both have weather radio on them, and that's pretty much it. So there are pros and cons. The pro, well, let me start at the top. So they're really common. You can, if you are in a situation where you want a way to talk, say the hurricanes come through, earthquakes happened, things are starting to stabilize, and you want a way to talk to your neighbors, right? Or you want a way to talk to someone that's going to go down to the FEMA area and get some supplies for your family, and you want a way to stay in contact. These are good for short range. The downside is they're also only short range. So if you wanted to talk to someone, 3 or 4 miles away in a city, or 5 to 7 miles away in the country, that's most likely not going to happen unless you have a lot of terrain or you live on a mountain or something like that. With the same power, the same thing said about security. So if you are in a situation and this is all you have, and you're concerned about your safety and someone finding you, say in a disaster situation, and there are people going around just looking to steal supplies, these won't transmit that far. So you don't have to worry about someone listening in that's, on the freeway if you're 10 miles off the road somewhere.